Alright, in today's video I'm going to do a overview, and show you a couple of use cases on this Teslong Borescope. I find it pretty interesting, but let me go over some of the details that it has and get started with the show. Anyway, before we do that, hit the subscribe button and let's get going. Alright, so here's a high level view of this, and let me go over some details which are important. Over here on the side you've got a charging port, a reset port, and an SD card. It comes with a 32 gigabyte SD card. There's a trigger on the back. That's basically to take a photo or a video, depending on what mode you have it in. Alright, let's get a close-up. Alright, to turn it on, hit the on button for 3 seconds. It'll turn it on. And the first thing you're going to see is a really crappy picture, and that's because there is a little cover on the camera. Take that off. There's a child in me because every time I do this I want to giggle if I go like that, but it does have 180-degree articulation, so it literally will feed back on itself, but it is kind of funny when you do that, and take a picture of it at the same time, which I did. In any event, let me go through some of the controls. Configuration, you can configure different things. Shut down language setting, it'll support 8 languages. Celsius or Fahrenheit, date and time, this has already been set. Hitting the, we'll set it up again. Believes it's 73 degrees outside. So what I can do is change the brightness level. That dims it down. Still on. That turns it off. As you're using it, if you notice the garage or the workshop looks upside down, you can flip it here and it'll flip it right side up. It will continue to video it or take the picture of it in the position that it's in. So if it's upside down, that's what you're going to get regardless of what you do with this. Couple of modes. Right now it's in picture mode. You can see the little camera icon there. So take a picture of that. I just hit the trigger in the back. Change the mode to video. And it's literally taking a video. You can see this here. Hit it again. Video turns off. Change the mode. And hit OK. And it'll play the video that we just took. One thing I wanted to mention, it's got a 5-foot borescope length, so pretty good ease of depth. To turn it off, we hold this down and it will turn off. Alright, so what we need to do is get some use cases, show you how we're going to use this. And a good start's going to be this old Montgomery Ward tractor that my son is restoring, so we can do the cylinder inspection. Alright, so fair warning, some of the audio you're going to hear that's recorded through this Borescope is not that great.
Just to get an idea of what it looks like down here. Yeah, there we go. We have a stuck valve.
What's this?
Mm-hmm.
How do you tell?
Look. It's the valve right there.
I think there's a lot of carbon.
It's stuck. It's
stuck open.
Yeah, it's stuck open, so.
Or,
I know how to fix it.
well, the engine might be in the,
I moved it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a stuck valve. I know how to fix that, though. You have to take it apart to do it, bro.
Well, some good diagnostics.
Well, you know that noise we've been hearing? That's probably what this is. That valve's not working correctly. Okay, cool. Alright, well, I did the other side already, so that's like what's fine. It's just nasty.
Alright, so I'm actually filming myself with the Borescope camera. Just to give you an idea of the quality, it's got a little ring light. It works pretty good. So what we're going to do, look at this old, it's a Briggs & Stratton 15 horsepower single.
This is a Kohler.
Oh, sorry, it's a Kohler single cylinder. And I've never looked at the inside, so we're going to take the opportunity to do that now. I took phone isn't hooked up to that.
Wait, that's gonna be a problem.
You can't. So right now I'm using the little thingy thing, and we can see the valve. To the right is the actual valve. To the left is, I guess, the collar that gets pushed up.
So I think this is actually a pretty interesting view because we're looking at the intake valve, and as we rotate the engine, what you'll see is this valve actuate. Unfortunately, we can't look at the piston just because of the design of this engine. Here's a quick snapshot of how this piston sits in relationship to the valve. But you can see the valve moving as we turn the engine over, which I think is really cool. Overall, pretty clean. Actually, fairly pleased with the quality of the engine so far.
All right, I'm actually using the Borescope as a camera. I don't know how the audio is going to be. Hopefully not too bad. But I'm going to show you something which we've already examined this, but there's a sinkhole underneath the driveway. And I've ordered some specialty foam to fill it up with, polyurethane style foam. It's the same stuff they use to lift cement blocks with, actually driveways with. So let me tell you what we're talking about. But yeah, this goes, I'm going for a couple. Yeah. Show you what we got. All kinds of mess in there. I know at the end of this, I'm thinking this is about 2 foot. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little tunnel in there, which makes me wonder if this wasn't bored out by a mole. We actually found a couple of dead moles the cats got, and maybe this is their hidey hole. So anyway, yeah, I never thought to use this as a vlog type cam, but I'll be damned, it actually works pretty good. Now it's all full of mud, and what they do is they give you a couple of alcohol wipes, and I'll tell you some of the stuff that's left in the kit, or that they give you in the kit so you can clean this. So after being in an engine, being underground, literally, the alcohol wipes is probably not a bad idea. And it's just so tempted to wiggle with this stupid thing, but I'll refrain from doing it.
All right, so we've done a bunch of stuff. It's got some filth on it. One of the things they include with this kit is little alcohol prep pads, which are it's really great because you can use that to clean oil or whatever it is that managed to get on there off. So I'm going to go for the lens first before I do anything else. Then I'll do the rest of it. Make sure it's clean. Just good preventive maintenance. Well, one thing I've noticed too, this is very reactive, so if you notice when I do this, of course this moves. If you force this to move, the little knob will move. I don't recommend doing that, but it does have some features. And remember, I also mentioned that I left this on, and it's a good reason. Crawling in the dirt, left mud and stuff all over it. So let's clean that up, cap it up, and put it up. And one last thing I want to show you. Let's get rid of some of this dirt. Five feet of cable coils up quite nicely in this case. That's one of the reasons I actually really like the case as well, is that otherwise this would probably get destroyed somewhere along the line. So the last thing I wanted to show you is the manual. Yeah, I know. I'm one of those people, I use a manual as the last resort. Sometimes you have to. It's actually well written. It's got all the instructions, all the indicators. So it's actually for multiple units because it doesn't come with these two little adapters, but it doesn't matter. It does everything we need it to do, doesn't it? Anyway, what I so you can actually connect this directly to the computer, and I just find it easier to take the SD card out and do it that way. some EU stuff, which we don't care about. Then there's notices. One of the notices I thought was quite unusual. This is not a medical product. It is not intended to be used in any animal body. So somebody apparently somewhere along the line had the idea of using this for either a self-endoscopy or other nefarious uses, and I don't know what they are, so I won't go into that, but I thought that was actually kind of hilarious. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, hit share and like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.